Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome or welcome back. I am EBINOTTI, and today we are doing the full moon readings. So, full moon is currently in Capricorn. We follow the moon cycles around here, the full moons and the new moons, and we do tarot readings to read the energy, to be able to work with the elements, to manifest things, to align to things, to activate things when we need to get action taken, and it's feeling very action oriented today. So some of the elementals are already up on the channel. You can go and check them out whenever you feel like it, whenever you're called to do so. Today we are doing the air element, and I'm feeling it. So as a Pisces, a water sign, I struggle a little bit with air. That is the element that I find challenging. I've also found my greatest strengths in that element. So you might have a little bit of that conflict going on around you right now or within you, where there are two conflicting elements. Now, with the air element that we're going to be working with today, we're focusing on the upper chakras, okay? The throat, the lungs, the third eye chakra, and all of that. So the tone that we create, and the element that I want to blend with that today is water. I ran and got a full, fresh, clear glass of water right before I sat down in this reading, because as I was meditating coming in to do the reading, there were so many messages coming through. It was coming through so fast. I wanted to grab a notebook, but I knew it was time to sit and hit record. So we're going to try and get out as many clear messages as possible. And the first one is to blend elements. It feels so collaborative and so beautiful in coming together and joining and co-creating, collaborating in all the wonderful creative spaces. And especially when it's the simple stuff, the mundane stuff is not feeling mundane at all right now. It's feeling extraordinary in all the good and totally crazy ways. We're going to need that blend. We're going to need that strength. We're going to need to remember that. That when it's so out of our control when we do collaborate. So going to work is a huge collaboration, that it's so mundane. But like I said, there's so many incredible synchronicities and magic and just that alignment feeling going on around us right now, where we are being called to our destined path or called to fulfill something, maybe make big changes. So the thing about a full moon, and Capricorn especially, is we really get ambitious and it can be a little frightening. So these are the things just outside our comfort zone. Even for some of us, it may be like, that really like way the hell outside of our comfort zone. We've talked about with this full moon energy, the other elementals, how things are feeling really, even though there's so much separation between them, it's not feeling like any kind of actual distance or lack within the body. So what I mean by that, the dream might be some fantasy, you don't know why this thing is coming up for you, like me with the dream home, the castles, the palaces. It's like, where the hell is this coming from? Like, this is my trailer. If you didn't know, we're flipping a trailer. And right now there's no flip even happening. It's not exciting. It's just this. It's a trailer. Why the palace? Why the dream that's so distant? And yet it feels so at home, so natural, so authentic. And if in any way we weren't allowing that collaboration to just completely exist within the system, it's totally groovy. Everybody's grooving in here. If we weren't allowing that, it would feel extremely distorted. You can see it all around. If you take a look or just a quick peek, you'll see people at odds with their desires, with their authentic desires to express themselves, to live a certain way, to believe that things are possible, even though deep, deep in their soul, they know it is. And that's where the desire is authentic and comes from. So look no further than within your own self to know whether or not your desires are authentic, or if you're struggling with some kind of temptation, distortion. There's a lot of healing going on as well under full moon Capricorn, because the devil energy's out here, that really extreme thing that exists in our world is running rampant. It's running rampant. So the thing about the air element, it's very harsh sometimes, okay? The air element is about truth, but it's also about knowledge. And the thing about knowing the truth is there's no room for alterate. There's only one truth. We've all heard that before, right? And this is where that shit gets really, really real. And it could feel really uncomfortable. So recommending all of the wonderful spiritual alignment things that we work on here at EBINOTTI as Divine Feminines. Nature walks, you know, salt baths, beautiful meals and things that are enjoyed, like truly just enjoyed. Again, the mundane things that we do every day becoming extraordinary in the way that we align in those moments, we heal in those moments. There's nothing fancy about meditation or breath work or aligning spiritually to your chi. You know, it's about taking all the fancy out of it and just getting very, very real, very honest. You can't align to the life force energy without getting really real first. So Capricorn in a full moon energy is going to give us that huge rush. And we just want to make sure we're prepared for that amount of energy to come into our system, to be held over us as, you know, the dome that is our existence and our dimension. We really want to understand the energy that we're under currently, because we don't get much choice in that. You're going to have to deal with it one way or another, like all the rest of us. Again, that's why we come together as a collective and do these readings this way. Okay, let's breathe together for a second. And cheers to you if you're having some sips today. I'm drinking some coffee like I love to do. It's another beautiful day. A little bit cloudy today, but we are not complaining. It's a beautiful day today, and we're going to settle into this truth, this knowledge, and this energy together so that we can not only create miracles, but observe, become aware of true miracles, true magic, and work with it together, okay? Okay, I'm going to move my little water and keep the coffee while we pick out some oracle cards to do this reading today. Feeling a little janky today. A little on the janky side, and not in a bad way in any way, but it's there. It's that energy of like, okay, I don't want to get caught up and feel like I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get caught up in things. There's fear. There's all of the just you can feel if you're one of those feelers, you can feel the distortion out there today, and you just don't want to let it in. It's like, okay, and in that we know for sure we are doing the dragon oracle today. They're gonna go first too. We want to do the dragons first, and with the dragons we are going to do excuse me, the Return of Spirit Oracle. This is another Cheryl Lee Harnish deck that I just absolutely love. I have all 3 of her decks. You've heard me talk about them a million times on this channel. They're back. If you're curious about the decks that we use, not just in the readings, but on the channel, I am listing and linking my entire collection down in the description box, so you can check that out. I don't buy cards all the time. I'm not always shopping cards. But when I do, do big hauls and things like that. So I love my collection. My collection's great. And then every once in a while, it's like, hey, we need some fresh blood in here. And that's how it goes. And I collect a few decks at a time. So it's been a long while since I've updated my collection. It's starting to kind of creep into the forefront as I see new decks coming out and things like that. So might be doing an update on the deck collection soon. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're curious about all the kind of content that we do, not just the moon cycle readings. And you can check out EBINOTTI on other social media platforms as well for more interactive experiences. I am out there on social media, that's for sure. Okay. Kind of want a third oracle deck, but let's shuffle and see how that goes. Okay, it's summertime, folks, if you're watching this reading when it comes out, but whenever you're drawn to these messages, There will be something in it for you, but it's summertime, very beginning of the summertime. It's already feeling so exciting, and because of all of that heightened excitement and energy out here in the collective, we've got some really touch and go kind of fear-based energy, which can be very, you know, can change from being fear into something else very quickly. So we're going to see how that all plays out. I love this. The first dragon on the bottom of the deck, just to give us a theme to get started with our oracle cards, is the golden Christed dragon, which we have seen under this full moon energy already. So we got Big Brother energy coming in, which I love and is so relevant and is feeling like a huge win right now. Absolutely. It's very protective, this energy. And if you see the heart space, just, you know, giving off so much of that dominant masculine kind of energy in the most protective way that you could imagine, literally like Big Brother energy, not some distortion of Big Brother, like Jesus, the Christed energy, the Christ consciousness type of energy is all about compassion and understanding and wisdom. When it comes to alchemy, that didn't take long, did it, to get our dragon out? So we got green, the green dragon, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But on the bottom of the deck, so this is going to be our theme for the reading. On the bottom of the deck, he's going to stay face up on the deck the whole time. On the deck, I call my desk the deck. But on the desk, I'm all excited because the air dragon, not only is it the element that we're doing, this is also Big Brother energy coming through for us too. So very protective. Archangel Michael has kind of been with us floating through this reading. I personally am not religious, so that's an energy coming through for the collective to understand the ascended masters in each of their expertise, their mastery, you know, like we're going to understand aspects now, and it doesn't matter how you're approaching that. That's what's being called to be understood. So if air is all about knowledge, then the support that's coming in for you is for mastery. That means that you have massive amounts of accomplishment in the upper chakras. So whether that's an accomplishment with your throat, speaking your truth, singing, mastering your voice, your breath, your chi, you know, all of that comes from throat chakra. And then there's the third eye chakra. So being able to see and understand and know things, not just believe things, where we still have conflict in a belief, right? There's still some questions, some things that we're unsure about. We need more information to be able to feel. That's where the balance comes in, and we blend water with air to be able to feel that we know a truth in something. So allow yourself to seek the information that is needed for your spirit to feel that it is educated enough to make a decision. There's definitely something like that on the table here where we're still a little bit unsure, and therefore we can be having some conflict within expressing our opinion, expressing our truth. It's like you gotta get in there first. So the air dragon, beautiful coloring on this deck. I love this. Helps you rise above earthly matters. Okay, so we're going to again talk about earth element, which is, I'm assuming, why green is out here. Communicate honestly. Brings you inspiration and hope. So Big Brother always gives you that tether where you're protected. You know, you're allowed to go out and you're allowed to do things, but when you got Big Brother and some shit goes down, who do you call? You call Papa, you call Big Brother, you call, you know, homie. That's that energy, okay? See life from a higher perspective. So with air, we get to, you know, get up in there in all of the currents and things going on within our atmosphere. We get to get up in there in the air element, spread our wings, and see things from a broad perspective. So the micro is where we live in the 3D realm, the earth realm. But we can take ourselves to higher perspectives to be able to really, you know, branch out, be brave, do what we need to do, especially when it comes to understanding things. So let's see what this green dragon has to tell us. Helps you tune into the secrets of nature. And I'm going to show you the imagery here because it's really beautiful the way that the dragon here is cocooning this key energy. helps you tune into the secrets of nature. You remember The Secret? Wasn't that such a powerful thing for the collective? It's weird because how many people watched The Secret about the law of attraction and were like, oh, I knew that. I watched that movie by myself. I just came across it, hadn't heard anything about it, watched it, and was blown away how it resonated in my body. And when I talked to people about it, like family, people in my inner circle, I was shocked when they said, oh yeah, of course. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I felt like the lady narrating the movie, if you remember, she's kind of like, my daughter gave me a book, and next thing you know, I'm going on some crazy adventure. So again, the feeling of being safe to now explore something that is absolutely being called and very powerful. There's something wealthy in there. There's a truth in there. There's kind of that thing that you are seeking. Under full moon Capricorn, we get a very clear perspective. If we're willing, we get a clear perspective of our ambitions. That is our core values. That's what matters most to us. Okay, so we get the chance to be able to move towards those things in very chunky ways, okay? Huge leaps and bounds out here for those of us who are brave and willing. Again, that's why we come together, you know, to rise. Okay, the secrets of nature. Receive answers and guidance from nature. Align with your divine essence. Oh, if that's not EBINOTTI in everything that we do out here, it's about alignment, okay? When I talk about alignment, we're launching alignment programs and all of the things. It couldn't be more in alignment. To feel this energy, okay, of being protected in the knowledge that you seek, in the key that you are feeling either that you don't have or that you need. There's a really strong kind of calling to this, so it can feel like all kinds of janky things under a full moon, but it is authentic. It is being called for a reason. It's definitely yours to be had, whatever this thing is. Okay, you'll have to forgive me. My throat is so very dry. And I've been trying not to get sick for the last, I don't know, about a week or so. Do my best here. I'm taking, do you do those like morning shots? The ginger, lemon, turmeric, cayenne, and you drink it and you're like, I'm dying. I'm back on my morning shots routine. So again, check out EBINOTTI on other social media platforms if you're into that kind of stuff. I love sharing recipes and going on these crazy wild adventures when it comes to things around the house, the mundane stuff. It's what we eat. It's everything. It's everything I live for. It's everything, the knowledge and the experiences. Everything I live for. Okay, let's get that last oracle card out and we will get into our tarot reading today. Oh yeah, tarot readings are still available one-on-one, like personal readings with me. I don't have a ton of spots open this summer. I already know that. But as of right now, I'm still offering them if you're interested. There's a bajillion tarot readers out here. Ooh, we just had one fall. Let's see what that's about. Oh, the violet flame. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, so big healing right now. This isn't even our card. We still need to cut the deck and then get our card. But this, we are going to talk about it because this level of healing with the violet flame is something really personal and really big. So I'm feeling something coming through from the, you know, ancestors, from your bloodline. This is spiritual stuff. It's like, you know, people call it like bloodline curses and things like that. I'm assuming that there is a really important family dynamic going on right now, even if that's only sort of in your spiritual family. But a lot of people are probably feeling this in the physical, where there's massive amounts of healing going on within the family dynamics. Okay, people are sick and fucking tired of acting like, you know, somebody out there is, you know, like the grass is greener on the other side. I just heard it was like, okay, I was going to talk about the government not being our real family and not wanting to take care of us, but they're like, just say the grass is greener on the other side, and that's bullshit. Fair enough. We will keep this card out for the reading. Another one card just fell. Okay, it is what it is. We've got our cards. So this is going to be the other card for the reading. And the card is called Change of Mind. So because we're doing air, we've talked about this under full moon Capricorn already, where cognitive dissonance has gotten us pretty much nowhere. Okay, it's like knowing something within the system and then the mind has conflict with it is no longer jiving. Okay, do you feel the healing wave energy of this and how like two forces are colliding here? We are absolutely done with pretending that something outside of ourselves has more wisdom than us. We're done with like thinking really, really small and being so afraid of. There's a really kind of like, hoorah, again, Archangel Michael with his flaming fucking sword, just like, you know, out there fucking whipping through the air, doing all kinds of amazing things. If you remember this force, that type of energy that we have out here, it's like the masters of the sky, like the dragons were, you know what I mean? So really powerful energy coming through from all the realms to tell us about it, to help us see clearly. You know, because there has been a lot of damage done. And the reckoning, I just heard, and I'm like, the reckoning? You know, I'm water, I'm Pisces. I said that, right? We started with that where I was just like, whoa. And now we're in the reckoning. Flame, violet flame out here. If you do energy work, you know how in-depth and mastered you need to be to work with people that are going through that level of healing. I used to say, and I'm trying to like, you know, allow myself the growth because I am getting into a different phase of my life now. But I used to say, like, I don't mess with that kind of trauma. I can't help with trauma healing, okay? Because I do alignment, and that's like after you've gotten to neutral. If you're way back from neutral, like I can't help you. And that's the kind of healing. It's like there's nothing in balance about what's been done, and therefore that level of reckoning on the forefront. Okay, so change of mind is not just about the mind. It's about what the third eye chakra, that knowing what is known. So that's real change, and everybody with half a sense can feel the change right now coming. Ooh, I love that I was just going to put air down, our air dragon, and the aquamarine dragon from Neptune is underneath. So if you don't study astrology, I dabble, but I'm definitely, but I'm not a rapper. I'm definitely not an astrologer. Neptune is the planet that rules Aquarius. I mean, there's some conflict about that, but Neptune is the planet that rules Aquarius, and it's in retrograde or about to go retrograde. I share all of my favorite astrologers and things like that over on the Facebook EBINOTTI page, so I highly recommend you check that out. I'll try to remember to link it in the description box as well, so it's an easy, just one click away. But definitely check out that kind of stuff if you want to know where I'm getting my information, my expertise from, because the effect, there's some real sibling energy going on here, okay? Think of the force of two powerhouses, like two dragons coming together to make change, okay? They don't always line up in quite this way where they feel like, you know, not like twins, but like, yeah, sort of. I'm getting like Gemini, because we've talked so much about Gemini coming off of Gemini season. We're in Cancer season now with the summer solstice. We switched from Gemini to Cancer. Happy birthday to all the Cancers out there. I always forget to say happy birthday to people like in the third dimension. I don't really live, like I'm from Neptune. You get that vibe of like, you remember the Sailor Scouts? Sailor Moon was like some inner child stuff for me. That's why I have them up there. You remember the Sailor Scouts? They told us all about the personalities, the archetypes of the planets. So if you remember Neptune, it's like that's some deep, deep water work there. We don't live in the third dimension very often. So it's nice to have the tether. It's nice to feel really and truly like we don't have tribe necessarily, but we definitely have that one. You know what I mean? That ride or die kind of energy. Wow. Feeling really beautiful. Okay, so just a reminder, we've got the violet flame out here for anyone who needs it. Please do. use that energy. These cards are built, the artwork on these cards are built by an incredible artist who is Canadian. Shout out to the Canadians, what up? But this energy here can really heal, so you can sit with that kind of energy and do meditation if you like. The change is a coming, okay? So a little bit of preparation energy there, not mad at it. Where's everybody going here? Okay, there's something set up. Cheers to you if you're sipping. Cheers. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, before we get into tarot, we have the caretaker energy, which is really feeling, again, like reiterating that message of balance. And even though we have opposites here, we have a really beautiful, you know, powerful connection, powerful reflection where things work, okay? So you can expect to really be jiving with the people around you right now. And if you're not, you're just in the wrong space, right? So do what you got to do to finish out the day or get the thing done and then get the hell out of there. Because even if you have to be alone, this is the energy in the collective right now. It's very powerful and it's very in alignment. So don't doubt that whatever you need is coming next and is on the horizon for you. And you're very much so going to be holding the keys soon. Okay, so preparation and all the things in alignment so that this unlocking happens as smoothly as possible. Because the type of alignments or the things going on around us or whatever it is going to be so big that it feels very, very changing, very in the shift type of it. Full moons are the end of the moon cycle, right? We start with a new moon and it grows and grows and grows, and then we get the full illumination, and then boom, she goes dark. Bang. Just from one night to the next, we get this feeling of boom, done. So as we go right now through that shift, if things happen very quickly, because that's the feeling, it's like in a second. In 1 second, your whole life changes. I'm gonna go. Ooh, I was gonna do just the Rider-Waite, the holographic Rider-Waite that we use pretty often, but the crows are calling. So we're gonna do the Crow Tarot. And I can't help but show you who's on the bottom with the Ace of Pentacles. If there's a pentagram, a pentacle being offered here under full moon Capricorn, we want to have a look at it. It's either coming from, you know, the most authentic aligned place, or it's coming from Satan himself. Okay, so learn to see things very, very clearly with the air element. That's really what we're working with, is not just the truth, but being able to interpret and become aware when the truth is presented to us. And education has very little to do with this. That's why we started off by talking about bringing water as the element to work with air right now under full moon Capricorn. It's because we need that. We need that compassion to not be educated, to not have all of the details sorted, and still to know. Not just believe, but know something. So again, the shift is very, very real right now. I just saw the Eight of Cups pop up. Again, if you're into astrology and you know what the Eight of Cups energy is astrologically, it's all about Saturn and Pisces. And right now, Saturn just went retrograde in Pisces. That is a very big planet to be making moves in our solar system. It don't move very often. Not like that anyways. So, okay. We're doing tarot now. We do a 5-card spread and we get 5 clarifiers. I call this the quick pick spread. If you do want to book a personal reading, the quick pick spread is just to answer a question. Typically, it's about a 15-20 minute reading. And it usually doesn't last as long as these ones here. But that's how we do it. Okay, and then 30-minute and hour readings by the hour are also available. You can really do as much as you need. I have definitely done some longer readings in my time. And I offer 2 different styles of readings. The live chat one where we do a video call, that's pretty simple stuff. It's like sitting one-on-one with me. And then the pre-recorded is a reading that goes up privately and only you have access to it. And you can watch it again and again and again. So I like getting readings like that because I like having readings like seasonally and things like that I can go back to as reference. That's also why we do the channel, so that we can follow the moon cycles in that same type of way. So if you want a personal like that to follow the moon cycles or anything, those are also available. Okay, to get us started on the bottom of the deck, we got some fire. We got the 7 of fire, which is feeling again like Archangel Michael just coming in with his flaming sword and being like, what do we need to know here? So with 7, you get the element of spirit in there, the ether, to bring in some just the type of truth that you might have to really battle with a little bit. There might be a little bit of conflict, whether it's the people around you, likely, or it's your own interpretation of how a truth is going to go down, if it's your truth to express, that kind of thing, or if you know a secret. You remember we had secrets in the beginning. Because it's Capricorn, you're gonna, coming off of Gemini season, you're gonna get a lot of the kind of darker elements and things right now, and that needs to come out. You know, it's not a joke out here. It's not. And yet, at the same time, it can be approached from a very healthy standpoint, a very grounded standpoint. As we get our cards, we got 3 cards, so let's really get into this. From the 7, we saw the 7 of Wands to start us off as a theme, and our first card out is the 8 of Fire, the 8 of Wands. Okay, so this is really quick action, quick. You see how quick those wands are coming in fucking hot too. Like, so a lot of this is what we want and need right now to see, to know, to understand, to be able to whatever we need to do out here. And some of this is going to be real crunchy. Great word. Second card out, Queen of Cups. Look at that, beautiful. Oh, I just love these cards so much. Look at that energy. Arr. Okay, Queen of Cups is the mastery from the feminine aspect of water. So I really wasn't kidding when I was saying, like, that's going to help. And because this is our first 2 cards out in a 5-card spread, this can be, for most of us, this is going to be energy that's crossing us. So we're coming out of and just need to reflect on and understand that, at least from the feminine perspective. And we've seen the King and Queen of Water all throughout this new moon, this full moon cycle. And the new moon Cancer is actually tonight. Where I'm at in the world, the new moon Cancer is tonight. So tomorrow morning-ish, we get the full, you know, and we're just lagging a little bit, and that's just how she feels out here. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is amazing mastery energy. Remember, we were talking about Christ consciousness with Jesus and all of that. This is like that feminine, you know, Mary kind of energy, where we really do have the power to, we have the power. I just heard and started singing. I'm like, sure. Back to back, we have a Queen and a King. King of Air is going to be our central energy today. Okay, so definitely wasn't joking in the beginning when I said we are mastering. There is a level of mastery available here. And within this element, oh my God, the upper chakras, we are so fucking down for that. We're so down for that. So not easy to rule kingdoms. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You've heard all of the sayings. When we have counterparts side by side and any fire on the board whatsoever, it's going to be time to take action. As a leader, dominating things, having to face things. It's like you're the one taking care of shit right now. And that's females, males, masculine, feminine, young or old, it doesn't matter. We rule kingdoms every fucking day of our lives. Okay, so really working with the truth from, like, this is not only masculine and feminine balance, it's air and water, which air and water is how we get the heart online. So when we make decisions with the balance of those 2 elements, we're really doing things to the best of our abilities. Okay, like, we're not messing around with the dragons here. This is dragon season. We're in the season of that type of wisdom and also that miraculous, legendary status. Okay, so make no mistake that if you're alive right now, you're making history. Okay, that you're a part of history. Like everything else you've ever heard of that historically existed, you are in the middle of history right now. Okay, so writing history, and I like that. King of Swords. Gonna teach us all about writing for the ones out there that need to say something, have something to say, whether you write it, speak it, Both. Both. Cheers to you. Mm-hmm. There's something trying to like come through and I can't figure out exactly what it is right now. We've talked about insecurities and things like that under this full moon Capricorn. I'm just gonna light a smoke while we figure this out. We've talked about insecurities and things like that under this full moon Capricorn, and it's kind of like sitting there and going like, and me as like a healer or, you know, somebody who's compassionate, who's just like, oh babe, what's up? You know, what's going on? I'll stop everything I'm doing. What do you need? What's going on? That's the type of like friend I am, which is why I'm not a very good friend, because I can't give like that very often. I'm trying to like build, you know, for my inner circle and forever, so that I can give more, I have to build in first. And that's a really harsh truth. So the message kind of coming through that there are some really harsh truths coming in right now, not just being given to us from the outside, but on the inside, where it's like, oh man, I'm not a very good friend. And it's not that, you know, I couldn't be if I tried. It's just not in alignment for me to give like that right now. And that's why we got caretaker. We didn't really talk about what this energy is about, this caretaker energy, but it's about overgiving. So as long as you're coming off of the knowledge that the message is for the overgiver, you know, where it's time to, otherwise it is selfish energy. If all you ever do is think about yourself, then you are a classic narcissist, you know? So there's a difference, and that's the thing about kings, and especially the king of air. There's a difference between thinking you know and knowing because you have the experience. And it's time to, for a lot of us out here, it's time to stop pretending that we don't fucking know. Just because there's people in our lives who always will look at us that way, like, okay, babe, his dad's, you know, like going on 60. And he said that he went to stay, because he lives out on the res, and he came to stay in town. So he was staying with his uncle. And at 60 years old, his uncle still kind of treats him as if he's his nephew and he's a kid. And it's like, okay, there's always going to be people who see, like my mom's like, oh, you're, you know, my babies, you'll always be my babies. And it's really sweet and it's really genuine, but it's also like gets in the way sometimes if we are uncomfortable around it. We don't want to be uncomfortable because people don't get us. There's the message for you. We don't want to be uncomfortable because people don't understand. It's like, you don't need to have that reflection if you really truly know within yourself what you're capable of. So if you're going to prove anything to anyone, prove it to yourself. Like, think of James Bond. Again, we've talked about this cool, calm, collected king, big dick swinging type of James Bond energy. And it's not showy. It's not flashy. Growing up, we used to call that, as girls, we used to call that a chachi guy. It's just like, ugh, like you're just trying way too hard. Like, we all try hard, and that usually shows how much we care. But when you over try, it's like your desperation is showing. There's nothing attractive about that. Okay, so all the compassion in the world and all the understanding in the world to say that if people don't see it, not only do you not feel that, like you just don't care about that feeling, you're not going to judge them for it either. They might just be having a day where they're feeling, you know, off. They're feeling some type of way about something that happened, and that's why they can't see you clearly, because they're triggered, right? We're not just going to let this fucking spiral into oblivion anymore. We will take the higher road, like the king and queen or the James Bond energy. It doesn't show off. It doesn't always try to prove. It knows, because it's done the hard work. It has trained, it has fought, it has tested the theories, it has tried again, it has failed many times, it has barely been successful, but is the best. Not because it wants to be, not because it wants to be the best, but because it continues to work hard. Okay, so the knowing, not the believing, the knowing. Okay, so knowing within the self how mastered we really are out here. And with that, how dangerous your power can be if you're not willing. Like if you're not willing to bring the heart into it, how much power and pain and destruction you can really cause, right? Like kings and queens, when they're not healthy and in alignment with themselves and all of that, they can really bring an era of destruction. Indeed. Okay. I don't have an incense lit today. I had one lit before while I was meditating, getting ready. Like we always light incense and do all of that. But it went out right before I hit record, so I just left it. But we're gonna have a smoke together, so do your thing, whatever you do. Fire is also really calling, right? As I said that our cards came like flying out. I always have fire, water, and like, you know, the smudges and stuff, herbs, stones, crystals, all that stuff going on the altar. And today especially, fire was calling. I forgot to say that when I sat down because it was just like pew pew. With the water and stuff coming in. So fire is also a great, I mean, who doesn't love a good barbecue or a fire pit or, you know, that kind of thing in the summertime. I know indoor fires and stuff are really more looked at like the fall and that cozy kind of Halloween vibe that's been coming up under this full moon Capricorn for us. But right now, fire is just coming through in a really honest way to be like, you know, do your rituals, do your smudges, light your candles, you know, really cleanse, because our fourth card out, the Six of Pentacles, the balance. You see the scales and everything there, the balance. And this is masculine, feminine, the Lovers, major arcana number 6. That card right there is what rules the sixes in the minor arcana. Okay, so we see that masculine, feminine balance that we just came off of with the King and Queen. And here in the earth realm, you remember our dragon for the reading being green and teaching us about the secrets of nature to align with our divine essence, because there's information coming in for us. So not just information coming in now, we got resources, we got the things that we need, and we got our 5th card out in my lap, major arcana 11, Justice. What did I just say about the scales? I didn't see Justice because it was face down on my lap, but okay. So, excuse me, when I say the King and Queen are out here because there's shit to do as leaders in the kingdoms, this is what I mean. The physical world is going to call your attention right now very discreetly. And for some of us, not so discreetly at all. Okay, so just know as a collective, we tribe up big time in the ethers or the 5D or however you want to say it. Okay, that's why sometimes when you sleep, you wake up and you don't feel like you got any fucking rest at all. Okay, because we do big work. We do big work in the spiritual realm. That's for sure. Okay, so bottom of the deck, 10 of Wands. Before we get into our clarifiers, no doubt about it, it is time to, remember we saw the Wands, the 8 of Wands starting, now we have the 10 of Wands on the bottom. No doubt about it, there are things that absolutely we are going to get no say on, like they say the best leaders are called. It's like that, as my nose is just going off. Okay, so give me just 1 second to compose myself here. It's been a day. I'm having a day. Okay, it's been a life. It's been a day. 43 on the clock when I said it. So be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Don't stress the outside stuff right now. There's way too much. If you don't have a lot going on right this second, calling your attention, your time, your energy, all of that, don't get distracted, because you know under Capricorn we got some serious satanic energy out here trying to distract those of us who have real fucking shit to do. Don't get distracted right now. Your energy, all of your attention is going to be called in a direction very soon. Remember I said tonight is actually new moon energy. We've got one more reading to do for full moon Capricorn, and then boom, we are straight into the new moon energy. Okay, we'll see how long it takes for us to be able to transition through that. I follow the collective. That's why I end up here. The days, the times, you know, if you're into numerology or, you know, the timelines of it all, you can have some fun with just that. I know I certainly do. Okay, let's just take a second here. I love that on the altar, I want to get a camera that like faces down so you can see the desk the way I see it. We're working on it. Just know it's coming. But right now, Justice, our 5th card out to complete that spread, is sitting right beside the air dragon. And the King of Swords being central, it's like, okay, we're talking air, and let's go back to Archangel Michael as being so relevant under this full moon Capricorn. Archangel Michael really brings in some hard truths, but the way that only someone who loves you can. Crazy, right? And like these messages that are coming in, the things that, you know, are fated, the situations, actions, blah, 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 that are being called, that you're doing all of that, it might come from a complete stranger. There might be strangers, you know, like that old saying that my lovely Joycey, if you've heard me talk about my old roommate in Toronto and a very dear friend of mine, Joyce, my old Joycey used to always say all the time, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I'm feeling this sort of passerby energy. Somebody just comes in, drops some knowledge or some synchronicities, and then boom, out. And like, I'm starting to shake thinking about it a little bit. It's like, okay, there's some real, woo, if I can feel it in the solar plexus. So again, fire. 10 of Wands makes it feel a little hot and toddy, a little crunchy out there, because the 10s are actually ones. If you know, again, numerology, right? Like, and I love numerology. I'm not an astrologer, but I love numerology. Okay, so the 10s are actually ones. So that's a big ace type of energy that we're coming into. Again, the violet flame, talking about that sort of level, the big chunky cycles that we all sort of go through. Okay, let's get these clarifiers out here. The Fae realm is coming through really strong. For whatever that's for, I do love the Fae realm myself. If you know me, you already know that's like a thing. Okay, it's time. Just checking out what time we're at here. Making sure we're on time. Time might be very relevant. Timing. When we come off of Justice, remember we're going to clarify this 8 of Wands, our first card out right now. We started with that 8 of Wands. It's like, man, quick energy coming in. And Justice really does speak to us about divine timing, the balance of things, the balance that is needed, the click, the epiphany, the whatever it is, you know, because this is things coming into alignment and becoming possible to be made in balance, which is exactly what we saw with that 6 of Pentacles. Okay, we got 2. First clarifier, wow, the Queen of Swords. We have the actual counterparts of the same element, the element that we are currently reading today, air. I need to see what the next card is. Beside her, the 7 of Swords, coming under our Queen of Cups. Between the 2 queens, we've got the 7 of air. Oh, of course. I feel the 3 of Swords so strong. And look who's on the bottom. Just needed to peek. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the dark aspects out here, the temptation available to us. Don't think for one second that when the devil approaches you, he doesn't approach you specifically. You know, like, this is the type of energy. I was saying to my mom, it's so crazy. I was saying to my mom how if we are all God's children, right? Like, and God created the angels, created man in his image, then that means the angels are our cousins. And that means, because I always look at like generational cousins as siblings, like a lot of cultures do, right? They call their first cousins their brothers and sisters and yada, yada. Okay. So that means that the angels, the ascended masters, the, you know, would be like brotherly, sibling, peer-to-peer equal kind of energy. So we've seen Archangel Michael, and now who do we get out here? You know what I mean? In terms of family dynamics, the healing going on, it's like, this is a really familiar energy. This feels like somebody approaching that is extremely familiar to us. And look no further than this, the devil, satanic energy, to understand what's going on with that person. Okay, battling with their dark side, going through violet flame healing, shifts in life, being, you know, cocooned and protected. That's what that's all for, is to battle. We battle all the time, especially on spiritual levels, but it happens in the 3D. So you can go kind of as deep as you want to go with that. That's really about knowing thyself, and whatever your nurture or indoctrination or culture, program, family, it's like your contracts, the physical realm that you're in, the timeline you're in, the family you have, the things you believe, what's shifting. Okay, so here's what happens. Clarifying our 8 of Wands, we have Queen of Swords. So being capable, understanding the truth, and knowing what's coming at us. So we can see very, very clearly, and there's no emotion here, right? We don't need water yet. Even though we have the Queen, and she has the water at the ready, being the feminine master of air, she has that water naturally within her. It's there if she needs it, but she sees clearly everything coming at her, okay? And what does she see? Well, within her heart of hearts, she can see very clearly who is and isn't being ruled by the darker aspects. Now, some people, it's really easy to be compassionate because, like, you know, they're battling with something that you just happen to be compassionate towards for whatever reason. But other people, it's very triggering. That level of betrayal and stuff, if you really think about the 7 of Swords as the card in the tarot of like lying, cheating, he's cheating on you, If you really think about it like that, it's minor arcana. It's not that heavy. There's usually a totally legitimate, you remember you saw justice, legitimate reason for what somebody's doing, even if they can never speak that truth. They don't even know it themselves. It's completely destroying them. You know, like we all grew up with somebody that was like really awesome, had a big heart, and they're so self-destructive. Okay, so this is the type of people that hurt themselves, they hurt others, they do it in ways that it's easy to understand because of, you know, how experienced we are and how compassionate and like truly knowledgeable and wise we are, but that doesn't make it any easier to deal with. Okay, so because this block is kind of like slightly behind us, it's still relevant in the sense that like these are family members, these are people we care about. It really hurts. Sometimes it hurts our feelings. It can trigger us. Okay, centrally, to clarify our King of Swords, we got more swords with the 6 of Swords. So 6 out here on the board. We just saw the devil with his 6. I don't know how many more synchronicities we could possibly get in this reading, but I'm sure we'll see some more. So coming off 7 of Swords as a clarifier, we can understand here that things do get calmer on the other side. It's never just chaos forever. There's always going to be a happy ending, if you will. We were talking about that fairy tale type of knowledge that nothing lasts forever, not even the bad. So when people are, you know, hurting us, or we're feeling all of that pain within the body and stuff like that, just know that this is the wisest energy that you could possibly wish for. To be able to heal and understand, right? Like, it might not always be easy within the mental space, but we are growing. We are mastering out here, becoming, you know, these legendary creatures holding keys and things like that of wisdom to pass on when it comes our time to be the elders, if we're so lucky. Okay, so some really beautiful balancing going on within the air element. Thank God. Thank God. We've needed it. Excuse me. Even if it feels like we're going a little backwards, we saw the 7 of Swords and now the 6, right? Again, just not letting the pettiness of the devil, you know, come into it, because that is just sibling shit, and it's with purpose. It's not without its purpose, okay? There's a reason for everything that exists. If you remember the Matrix movies, the concept that every program has a purpose, it's kind of like that. It's feeling easier to accept and feel stable and grounded in this energy when we can keep our cool mentally. Oh my God, where'd it go? Oh, it's right in front of my face and I just couldn't see it. To clarify, the Six of Pentacles, we get the Nine of Water. Okay, Nine of Cups. So it doesn't take long to get into a calm mental space, and then once the mind cools down, we do get grounded. Remember green, it's like an earth dragon. So we get grounded in the physical when the mental, spiritual planes really come into balance and alignment there. And then look no further than your own desires lining up as the next sign that things are going to continue to move forward, continue to align, continue to get better. There's this message coming through of like, please just tell me things are going to get better. Of course they are. Of course they are. That's the whole point. The kings and queens and everybody that comes out like that from the court, they come out to tell you that you are capable, and sometimes that you're willing. And like with the air element, willpower is a huge part of this. Okay, so the solar plexus chakra is really about fire, but the breath is how we push that power. We in and we out, and we in and we out with that power. So when we are pushing our power out, we want to make sure it's in balance, it's in alignment, it's not fear-based. So the heart space, this is all the feminine energy with earth and water. The heart space gets into alignment as the mind cools down and just feels strong and comfortable. Like James Bond does not doubt himself. I mean, everybody's human and everybody has their moment, but that's, again, if you're going to prove anything to anyone, prove it to yourself. Okay, not everybody is questioning you as harshly maybe as you think. People are also scared. People are also confused. People are also seeking the truth and need to do the research themselves. And sometimes that conflict is the best way. You know, with the Seven of Swords, we definitely get conflict energy, but it's not always for the wrong reasons. Like, have you ever heard the saying, doing the wrong thing for the right reasons? Kind of has that feeling out here. It's like you might not want to do the thing that you know is right, but if you're being called, if you're the one who sees it, it's definitely your responsibility, you know? It might be a harsh truth that you need to accept today. That something is your responsibility, or there's no way to avoid something, or, you know, this is your, you know, I'm hearing a lot of things like burden, but it's like, ooh, I don't want to say that about that person, or, you know, your burden to bear. It's like your cross to bear, your person, your... And with that, we get the Seven of Water. Again, more seven energy. The Seven of Cups coming in to clarify justice. A little bit of confused emotions here. And it's not all confusion. A lot of it, again, with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords out here, we see very clearly. It's the emotions that are confused, that are making things harder to see. Like, you know, we've said before, it's not just love that's blind. A lot of things in the emotional space are blind. So air and water really working together as masculine, feminine elements, trying to help each other out a little bit. But they don't typically function that well together. It's really two independent, very strong elements that need to be in balance. Again, the idea of fire coming into this to really help, okay? So fire coming into this, using that element to really help balance that out, getting warm, getting comfortable, feeling safe, making a beautiful meal, whatever you need the fire element to do for you right now, you can definitely use it as you go through this, because like we said, the full moon energy is basically behind us now, and we're still just a little bit kind of lagging on getting through that energy. So whatever it is that just happened or hasn't happened yet is about to happen, that kind of, it's got that feeling of like, just, oh God, oh God, oh God, it's gonna happen. Oh my goodness. I just don't have the energy to jump and scream, but wow, you know, like the King of Cups on the bottom to finish us off. So we've got all 10 of our cards out here. We've seen the King and Queen of Swords, and now we have the counterparts, the King and Queen of Water, which we have also seen out before for the full moon Capricorn readings. I mean, it couldn't be any more phenomenal and in alignment than that, saying all the things about the balancing of the scales, the justice that needs to be served. Remember when we talked about the violet flame, we talked about retribution and that type of energy where it's like, you know, there will be the reckoning. There will be the moment coming where, and it's so crazy the way it feels right now because we know the truth. And once we know the truth, you know, like they say you can only hide a truth for so long. The truth will always come out. No matter how long it takes, it's inevitable. That's the feeling in the collective right now. If you know, you know. So holding that safe space, divine feminine, divine masculine alignment here is so powerful and so beautiful for us. So we are definitely cocooned. We are definitely protected as the winds, the tides change, the earth rumbles, whatever is going to happen next. Okay, we are absolutely prepared spiritually, emotionally, mentally for this, like we always were. Okay, there's the feeling of being extremely eternal in this and extremely powerful and very calm. So it feels like all of the, you know, team is out here, the family is out here. You couldn't be any more protected than being with your own, you know, where you were meant to be and all of that. So you've got a whole team out here, big daddy energy. Again, Saturn coming through in an interesting way, just to talk about the real discipline aspect, the real respectable, elderly masculine energy that is so no bullshit and so just like when it's time, it's time. That's how that feels. When it's time, it's time. We got the two kings out here of air and water talking about when it's time, it's time. Okay, so going into a much more calm, aligned, balanced type of space, world, energy, dimension, all of the things. And I'm liking it. Okay, wait, let me just put that down. We are going to leave that one right there. The air dragon one last time wanted to come out and say, hi, this is my reading. Indeed it is. So there you go. Again, The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. If you love to read fiction and fantasy and all of that, the Dragon Riders series is one of my favorites. I highly recommend it in this season of the dragon. I'll try to remember to link it down below. If I forget, please just leave a comment. But Aragon, the first book, I've read probably like 30 times in my life. It's just one of those books I always go back to. I read it recently too, like in the last year or so. So what's interesting about that is he wrote that book when he was 15. I was like, what? In a few weeks too. He just banged that one out. Relatable. If you don't know, now that we're all finished with the reading, thank you again for hanging out. I hope you got everything you needed out of this reading today. Personals are available, all that good stuff. Boom, closed. If you don't know, I wrote a book. I'm in the middle of a series that I'm writing. It is fiction, it is fantasy, it is romance, it is all the wonderful things. It's called the Twin Flame Trilogy, and book 1 is already out. It is on Amazon Kindle. It is available. It is very easy access and all that stuff. If you work with Amazon, you can easily get that. It is linked down in the description as well. Book 2 should be out by the end of the year, but you never know. I do all of my own publishing, editing. I self-edit my own books. I don't want anybody's interference. I'm so very curious about how many other writers are going to do the same and just be like, to hell with it. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. We're going to leave this one right here. We've got one more of the elementals coming, and then the full moon Capricorn is wrapped. That's wrap, I just heard. Yes. And I'm looking forward to wrapping it up so that we can get into some new moon energy with new moon Cancer. If you hear any out there, it's just babe. But we're going anyway. So thank you so much for stopping by. I am EBINOTTI, and I will see you on your next reading.